The news day continues here on One News Now. I'm Diego Castro, bringing you the biggest headlines from around the world. The United States warns North Korean leader Kim Jong-un against supplying weapons to Russia. This comes after the New York Times reported that Kim will meet with Russian President Vladimir Putin in Russia this month to discuss an arms deal. U.S. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan cautioned that this wouldn't be a good move on Pyongyang's part and that they may face consequences in the international community. Meanwhile, Kremlin remained mum on reports of Kim's alleged visit. But earlier this week, Russia's defense minister said Moscow and North Korea are discussing the possibility of conducting joint military exercises.
Providing weapons to Russia to try to conquer territory that belongs to another sovereign nation, this is not going to reflect well on North Korea, and they will pay a price for this in the international community. We will continue to look for opportunities to dissuade the North Koreans from taking this step. We will continue to call on North Korea to abide by its public commitments not to supply weapons to Russia.
Russia issues a warning that the return of U.S. nuclear weapons in the United Kingdom will be seen as a destabilizing practice. This comes amid reports of the U.S. Air Force supposedly preparing a budget for a potential surety mission in Britain's Royal Air Force Lakenheath base in Suffolk. That's nuclear safety and security in military jargon. If realized, this will be the first return of U.S. nuclear weapons in UK soil after 15 years. Russian Foreign Ministry spokeswoman Maria Zakharova told reporters that any return of U.S. nuclear weapons to bases in Britain would be seen as an escalation. She also reiterated her demand for the return of all American nuclear weapons to U.S. territory. A former leader of right-wing Proud Boys has been sentenced to 22 years in prison for his role in the U.S. Capitol riot. Enrique Tarrio was convicted of seditious conspiracy for planning the Capitol riot staged by Donald Trump's supporters in 2021. They sought to stop Congress from certifying President Joe Biden's victory in an election Trump falsely claimed was rigged. Tarrio's lawyer said their client would appeal the court's decision, maintaining that he had no direct influence on the riot. This is the longest sentence so far in the case. We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now World. I'm Diego Castro. Several countries were battered by storms, leaving cities submerged in flood waters and dozens of casualties. In Brazil, an extratropical cyclone claimed the lives of nearly 24 people in the southern part of the country. Dozens of homes had their roofs damaged by a hailstorm, with hundreds of people left without contact. Hundreds of Brazilians also packed up their belongings in an effort to escape the rising waters. 2 other people were killed in Bulgaria due to floods caused by torrential rain. Some 60 people have been evacuated as a state of emergency has been declared. Bulgarian Prime Minister Nicolae Nenkov is expected to hold a press conference to give an update on flood damage. Meanwhile, Storm Daniel battered western and central Greece just days after a deadly wildfire was brought under control. Floods triggered by torrential rain washed away rubbish containers and even vehicles. The fire brigade also reported 1 casualty after a wall collapsed on him due to bad weather. Brazilian President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva legalizes more indigenous reservations in Amazon. Lula officially recognized 2 indigenous territories, namely the Acapuri de Cima and Rio Gregorio. It grants indigenous people protection against invasions by illegal loggers, gold miners, and cattle ranchers. The announcement came on the day Brazil celebrates its Amazon region, home to the world's largest tropical rainforest. It also comes amid Brazil's Congress push for a legislation that would restrict the recognition of indigenous land claims. Chinese authorities report that a section of the Great Wall of China has been damaged. According to authorities, vandals looking to create a shortcut used an excavator to dig through it. Photos released by the Yuyu County Public Security Bureau showed missing portions and a dirt road passing through a section of the wall. Authorities said 2 suspects have been detained for further questioning and that they performed the excavation to, quote, save time and distance. And those are the top world headlines of the hour. Join us again at 9:45 a.m. as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. I'm Diego Castro. We are One News, all sides, all the time.